Not much. Hail to the Washington football team.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Was that your zing? I hope that wasn't your zing.
I have a nickname for the defense.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this. Buckle up, guys.
Uh-oh. Go ahead.
For the Washington football team, the WFT, it's called the WTF defense because that's what the opposing quarterback ends up saying. Hey, WTF.
That's a good one.
That is really great. That's a really great joke.
Bad as you could have imagined.
It's actually worse than I imagined, which was pretty bad.
I mean, how do you continue to top yourself, John?
Is that what Carson Wentz was saying the entire second half?
Oh my God!
Hey, let me make a plug for myself. I'm in a comedy competition at Nottingham's in Columbia, Maryland tomorrow night, Tuesday night. So.
Yeah, our friend Squirrel will be there.
Go
Squirrel
see
and
him.
Drunk Mike.
All you Maryland boys, go see him.
Right. Go ahead. Who else is in the competition?
No, I'll comedy competition. There'll be like 20 comics, and I'm going to do my best to win.
All right,
John. Best of luck. You're going to need it.
John.
He's a good dude. This should take all of our captives at Guantanamo there.
Right?
This is their entertainment.
I think Khalid Sheikh Mohammed is still in Gitmo. We just bring him over to Nottingham's.
Yeah.
All right, we're celebrating.
Took a weird turn.
We're celebrating the 1-0 Washington
Play the
football
music,
team.
Valdez. Come on, buddy.
27-17 victory over the Philadelphia Eagles. Taking your calls at 800-636-1067. Remember, coming up at 7 o'clock, we will talk to Washington football team insider from ESPN.com, John Keim, here on the Junkies.
And NBC Sports Washington on a victory Monday as the Washington football team tops the Philadelphia Eagles at an empty FedEx Field. 800-636-1067 is the number. We'll take your reaction throughout the show. Don't forget John Keim from ESPN. ESPN.com joins us at 7 a.m.
I'll tell you, they got to stop with the overhead shots at the empty stadium. I'm over it. Look, we saw those college football games. How great was it to see 20,000 fans or whatever it was at Doak Campbell? Yeah. Even Notre Dame, they had a bunch of fans throughout. This can be done. It's going to be done. Let's just do it.
I mean, they did it in Jacksonville.
Yeah, let's just do this. So, I don't know. Hopefully in the next month or so, they
should be able to change that. Yeah,
you should be able to have 20,000 in there, spread them out if you're still worried about it, and let's go.
Yeah, the fake crowd noise is just annoying.
Yeah, I just don't like the overhead shots. They just annoy me. It just looks weird. But all that being said, it couldn't take away from the victory and the excitement that was generated from that game. I can't remember a time I've been this excited about a defense. I was trying to think, when have I seen such a dominant performance defensively? And the one that keeps coming to mind, and it was just kind of silly, but it was when D. Hall picked off Jay Cutler like 5 times. Remember in that Bears game?
I think it was 4, yeah.
Was it 4?
I think it was 4.
And, that was nutty. But this was like a total team effort. It was sort of the unveiling of Chase Young, but everybody thrived. Everybody got
They lived up to the hype.
Yeah, and the D. Hall thing is probably like an aberration and a fluke.
Right.
This seems like, you're not going to get
repeatable.
You're not going to get 8 sacks every week, but the pressure and not only the sacks, the quarterback hurries and the hits, that is sustainable.
Well, look, I know other guys did stuff, but Chase Young he's so much better than, week to week, he's going to be so much better than the guy he's facing.
Well, just his ability and the nose for the football, like, popping it loose.
Yeah.
You just could see, he's just so skilled. It's just great.
That should have been another turnover, but Ioannidis was offsides.
Yep. You're looking at a guy. Rarely do guys live up to the hype right away, and he did. Remember how everybody said when I was grilling Montez last year because he didn't see him in preseason, he didn't see him in the first 4, like he's just doing nothing, and people were like, no, it usually takes defensive ends a year to get their feet wet, to get comfortable. Well, how about it took him about 2 plays?
Mm-hmm.
About 2 plays.
Well, he has a better pedigree too. He's the number 2 overall pick.
Well, yeah, sure. But I mean, Montez Sweat is no joke either.
No, he's
but
a good
just
player.
not
He's a first
special.
rounder. He's not Chase Young.
He's not special like Chase.
Right.
But again, they can bring them in waves.
Right.
So they start with Chase Young and Montez Sweat and play him for a couple series. Then a fresh Ryan Kerrigan comes at you, and Ryan Anderson, who didn't have an impact yesterday. That's who's coming in as kind of the second wave, and then you bring back Chase Young and Montez Sweat. It's just a lot to handle. But, of course, Ryan Kerrigan yesterday becomes the all-time sack leader. Here's Ron Rivera in the locker room post-game getting the boys fired up.
Wow. First, I want to give – where's Ryan Kerrigan? All-time team sack leader. We got to watch the tape. There's going to be a few more, but I want to give this to the coordinators, guys, because I've had my struggles, and they've been great. All of them. Jack. Yeah. I don't know who played that first quarter, dressed in burgundy. But the guys that played second, third, fourth quarter, knew what it was all about. Yes, sir. Hey, you guys, I'm telling you, you guys are the real deal. Okay? I didn't know. Nobody knew. But when I saw you guys turn your ass around and get it going in the second quarter, it made me realize just exactly how good you guys can be. Trust me, fellas, it's in here. It really is. You look at what we did as an offense, as a defense, as a special teams against that team, the defending NFC East champs, that tells you can play. Now, don't get a big head, because next week we got another task. Yes, sir. Completely different football team. Yes, but we take them one at a time. Enjoy this, because you guys earned the right to enjoy this one. I'll tell you that much right now. Okay, I'm going to tell you one thing, too, guys. It's a humbling experience to win. It's a humbling experience to lose. Be humble, be forthright, and again, whatever you do, be the Washington football team.
By the way, have you looked at the standings, Eric
I just got
Pickle?
chills right there, by the way.
Have you looked at the
Legit
standings?
Yes, of course.
Yeah,
Of course.
It's a beautiful thing.
We're
Love
top
it.
the standings, and it's not
the
fake.
Eagles, got the
It's not
Cowboys
fake, right.
losing.
Yeah.
The Giants haven't played.
10 years ago, we were atop the standings, and it was reverse order.
Right.
We were pulling some shenanigans. No, it was amazing.
How could they
I
be atop the standings
I
with no
legit got
wins?
chills at the end of that.
800
And I've seen that already.
1067 is the number if you want to chime in. If there was one area of concern, is it the offensive line? Is that the biggest area of concern? They played better,
running
though.
game.
I think they played better in the second
What
half.
about the running game?
Well, I think all that is based on the offensive line. Yeah. It's up front. That's the issue.
Yeah,
and
it's not
you
great.
And you could see, like Haskins, didn't quite have his feet set a lot, and on the run, some of his throws weren't so great. So Haskins is going to be better. That's the good thing. I think that Haskins is going to get better, but we really do need the offensive line to play better. That'll be the key to the offense. No, there's no doubt. They have guys that can make plays. They don't have pedigree per se. They don't have a resume at the NFL level, but they have guys that can play and they can do the job.
I do think it may be tougher for Terry McLaurin to have some big games because he doesn't have that much help. I mean, Dontrell Inman is just a guy. He had 12 catches last year. He's been a journeyman.
But I like his
Steven
size.
Sims Jr. can make plays here and there, but I don't know if you can rely on him on the outside that much. That's why I think Inman's getting some run.
Well, Inman's just got a great body. I mean, I love that. I think you're going to see more of him. I think you're going to see more Logan Thomas. I think we've barely scratched the surface.
I think you're going to see the running backs get more involved in the passing game going forward.
Yeah.
Easier passes, quicker. That's your up-tempo game. Get the Gibson and McKissick more involved. Barber, look, I understand he's going to be the short yardage guy and the guy on the 2-yard line, the goal line guy. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's one game, but he's living up to his 3.4 yards per carry over the last few seasons. That's just what he is.
If you were to look at him, Barber was the only guy who really had experience getting the ball a lot. Like McKissick in his career, I think the most carries he ever had in his season was under 50.
Well, he's a situational. He's like a third down type. He's not going to be in a 15 carry thumper. That's
Look, it's going to be.
See, that concerned me because they don't have a clear cut number one guy. They don't have a clear cut go to guy.
It's going to be a committee. It just is.
Yeah.
It's going to be a committee, and I think Gibson, they're going to use him more and more and more. but they're going to use all those guys.
Going to ride that hot hand, whoever it is in the backfield.
But I think Barber, they can kind of rely on him. He ran for almost 900 yards a couple seasons ago, whereas I just looked it up. McKissick's most carries in his career, the most ever in his career goes back to 2017, where he had 46. I mean, he's just not a guy you give the ball a lot to.
He's not a clear number one. No, he's not a clear number one.
No, it's a committee.
He's part of that committee.
Look,
I just think that they got to use Gibson more in the passing game.
Yeah, I think they will. They haven't even scratched the surface of what they're going to be able to do offensively.
Of course, they're learning too.
I mean, they had no preseason. By the way, it didn't seem like you really needed preseason. Other than the penalties, which were super annoying, off and running.
Well, except for a lot of guys got hurt yesterday across the league. There was a lot of hamstrings and groins.
Right.
Achilles, Marlon Mack tears Achilles.
Yep.
All right, let's go to Mary Ellen again because we said hello to her, but she never got to make her point. Mary Ellen, how are you?
Golly, I was just like, I was coming to that point, when we're in bed and we're coming to that point of happiness.
You were building to crescendo.
Right.
Cuts it off.
So get to your point then now, so we don't cut you off again.
Okay. I was just saying, just think of the defensive line when we've got fans and we've got that fans going nuts.
Right.
That's just going to be so awesome when we got the fans to back it up. I just can't wait for that. And I was thinking another thing. How bad of a morning is Howard Eskin having?
There were a lot of people who wanted us to book Howard Eskin today. By the way, I saw an interesting take about the lack of fans maybe costing the Bengals their game, because the theory was that if you had a crowd full of fans, that the referee would have been less likely to call the push-off on Green, which would have been the winning touchdown for them. And instead, they call it because there's no noise there. And it was a push-off, but they call it. A lot of times
they don't
buy
that.
And then, missed field goal, typical Bengals.
Not sure if I buy that.
Missed Chippy, by the way, 31-yarder. It wasn't like the Bullock missed a 45-yarder. It was a chip shot.
Yeah.
It was an extra point, basically.
Cakes, they're the Bengals. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, finding ways to lose. That's correct.
Burrow looked overwhelmed. Burrow was not playing against Ole Miss yesterday. This is the NFL. He looked overwhelmed. His pick was awful when he tried to shove it underhand. It was just bad. But he had the nice run for a touchdown, but he looked overwhelmed for most of that game.
Well, I think the last drive was very good for him, right? Getting him into that position.
Yeah. I mean, he had moments, but just for the entire game, he just looked. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to say he looked scared, but he looked like he knew the NFL pass rush was coming.
All right, coming up next, he's going to join us every Monday at 7 o'clock. It is Washington Football Team Insider from ESPN and ESPN.com, John Keim, here on the Junkies.